This another special day on your image with Akin Okudero. Today I have special people with me, and they are special in the sense that when we talk about community development, when we talk about public relations, when we talk about community relations, they are there doing their bit. And I have the honor of welcoming Prince Adegoke, Adekunle. Prince, you're welcome.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Prince Adegoke Adekunle is the Secretary, Zonal Development Community Committee of Abeokuta South. It's been doing wonderful in community development. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I also have the honor of having my professional colleague in person of Kunle, Comrade Kunle Sodipe. Comrade Kunle Sodipe is a man of many parts. He is a public relations professional. He is a senior special assistant on media and publicity for the PCRC, Police Community Relations Committee Chairman in Nigeria, and is also a great communicator, author, and also of so many parts. So, Comrade, you're welcome.
Yeah, good evening. I'm delighted to be here. I hope our viewers at home are ready to have a nice time.
Yeah, we are ready to also give you a nice time because the topic is something that has to do with development, and the topic is public relations and community development. And when we talk about community development is sine qua non to nation building. It is when a community prospers that we can talk about a nation prospering. It is when we have people being resourceful in the community. That is when the nation can also be resourceful. So we keep the ball rolling. Remember, I'm still with you, Akin Okudero. So, Prince Adegoke.
Yeah.
Well, Adekunle, when we are talking about community development, what are the ingredients that ordinary man should understand?
Thank you very much. When we are talking of community development, what do we mean by community in the first place? Community means people of different shades and character coming together in an area, building their houses, and then living together. Not necessarily members of your own family. If it is the local setting, that is the family circle, where we have the ancient buildings, there you can talk of the family community development. But when you really talk of community development at large, that could involve people of different backgrounds, yes, different tribes coming together. And by the constitution of the community signed in 2013, 30 number of houses makes a community, minimum. So when we talk of a community, a minimum of 30 houses with inhabitants makes a community. Although you have some...
And that can also constitute estates?
Yes. You have some communities where you have as large as 500, 300, and so on.
Thank you very much. Comrade Sodipe, you see, in a community, it is always believed that everybody has come and they are individuals who can do whatever they like. How do we go about creating cohesion, creating understanding, creating a kind of support group for the community?
Thank you very much. Once again, I appreciate the management and staff of OGTV. Kudos. Well, creating cohesion in the community, it's a task that must be undertaken diligently and meticulously. Why? Because different communities, like he said, that we have people from different backgrounds coming together, meaning that they could have different cultures, they could have different beliefs, they could have different, behavioral,
Yes.
So when you want to create cohesion, first you have to first understand that how to penetrate them, identify their needs. Some people might need red and some other needs yellow. So you need to, simplify a way or get a way of knowing, identifying their needs. And once you do that, you'll be able to now again go into what I will call their cultural beliefs. Their cultural beliefs, you have to take note of this. Once you are able to identify all these, you will be able to easily get to them. And again, you have to engage them, periodic meetings, meeting with them, as in getting involved with them in terms of even sometimes when they are doing programs that are not even the community programs now, personal engagement, making sure that you identify with them. These are so many other ways by which we can identify and communicate with different people. For instance, in a community, you can have the Yorubas, you can have the Hausas, you can have the Igbos, and all of them.
You have the youths.
You have the youth, you have the adults, and you have the artisans.
You have artisans, you have women groups.
And of course, we know that these different categories of people have different ways of thinking.
Yes.
You understand? For instance, now.
Even different expectations.
Yes.
And aspirations.
For instance, you are having a community event and all you are playing is barista. The youth might feel like this is not our own. You understand? So all these things must be mixed together so that everybody can be carried along and have sense of belonging.
Yeah, thank you very much, Comrade. Prince Adekunle, in your own understanding, how can we organize these people to get better development in those communities?
Yeah, thank you very much. It is easy to organize them if you understand them.
So how do we understand
The
it?
first thing is to penetrate, like my colleague has said.
Okay.
You must really come to their level. Whatever may be your own status, for you to really win them, you come to their level. You have to see what they see, probably eat what they eat, and do what they do. Then you can now correct them to now come and do what you feel should be done in the community, to come together. Like I said, you may have Hausa, have Igbo, have Yoruba, have even people that are not even Nigerian. They have to come together as one. Because the understanding in the first place is that your next door neighbor is your immediate family. And as such, you have to be together. You have to have an understanding. So that, because if anything good or bad happens to you, they are the first people that will know. And as such, you need to really be in agreement with them. And you don't just say, well, you have built your wall fence higher than you don't want to know what goes on in the next man's something as such. No, it's everybody for his own. No.
Well, thank you very much. Comrade, when you are also talking about developing a community, we know that government is expected to provide infrastructural facilities. Is it government alone that does that?
Of course, yes. Well, we know that by the virtue of the Constitution and the responsibility placed on the government, they are expected to do quite a number of things. But saying that it is the government alone that will do that, then will be a big error. Because, of course, to develop a community, it takes the combination of both the government, the stakeholders. Now, let me put it from the point of the stakeholders. So, who are the stakeholders? Government, they are just one of the stakeholders. there are so many other people
yes.
involved. We talk about the locals, they are there. We talk about religious leaders, they are there. We talk about the youth, they are there. We talk about the women, they are there. So the stakeholders, so all of us, including the government, we have a role to play. And everybody must play their role. Because if the government plays, they play their own role, provide, and the youth are not ready to maintain, you understand, in keeping those things that have been provided, then we'll just be, pouring water inside a basket. So everybody has got a role to play. And I keep saying it, that the youth especially, they have a huge role to play. Because we have seen situations whereby government provides some things, and before the next week, those things have been carted away, they've been stolen.
So what do you expect the youth to do?
They are supposed to be on guard. They are to be, because whatever the government has provided for your community, it has added a value. You observe, for instance, now, if you are having a new community and the roads are bad, and if they are selling a plot for a kobo, let them come and tie the roads. You see, the next thing, in fact, you can even buy it for a kobo now, and immediately they are done dropping all those, they are, clearing the roads for government to put the road in good shape. The next thing is the price of those plots will jump up. So whatever the government is doing, it is our responsibility to ensure that those things are well kept, so that the value and whatever development that is supposed to be in our community will continue. I've seen a situation that government provided borehole, and somebody just went there and claimed ownership, and before you know it, it started an issue in the community, and everything was stolen away. You understand me? So the road, it is the responsibility of everybody, the government, like those people have mentioned, and I even mentioned religious bodies too, because they have a role to play. They are the ones who are supposed to be teaching us every Sunday on how to behave, spreading morals. I keep saying it, we need more of morals in our religious places, more of morals and less of financial issues.
Yeah, as I was just relating some issues with us, some things came to mind. Let's look at a new environment, a new community, where the roads are yet to be tied, a developing community, so to say. What will you advise the people in that place? What pioneering role do you expect them to play?
Thank you, moderator. Well, you see, what we should, any new community like that should first put in mind is they are the people living there. And the slogan of the community says, self-help is the best help. At the time they just got into that place, the government is not living there with them. So they have the onus is on them to now say, okay, this road for us, so that our shock absorber, our tire, our this and that in the vehicle does not get spoiled all the time. It is for them to now say, okay, let's come together. Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, how do we do this thing? Okay, maybe we want to first do manual labor. Getting the roads clear it, mapping, and then mapping, trying to at least make the road passable for the vehicle. That's one. For them to even get to their different houses. The next one is, okay, how do we have light? They cannot wait for the government, because if they wait for the government for another 2-3 years, they may not get light. So they have to come together to say, okay, what do we do? How do we get light? Okay, we need to spend so much. How do we contribute? They contribute, and then do that. They have light. In all, for everything they want to do, there should be collective responsibility amongst them. And when we even say collective responsibility, finger is not equal. We may have some who can not pay more than 5 naira, whereas you get some who can pay as much as 1,000 naira. In a community, you don't need to look at that we have to pay the same amount. If you know you can help, that is part of what we call self-help. Keeping the community in order is not the birthright of anybody, but all of us.
Yeah, which means a collective responsibility.
Yes.
Well, Comrade, yeah, it's nice that Prince Adekunle has elaborated and explained that for a new community, we need the coming together of everybody to shape the future of such a community. And because it is their own life,
Yes.
the way they manage that new community is the way they're going to meet it in the nearest future. Well, in doing that, what do you think the residents will need in galvanizing them, in ensuring that there's mutual understanding, there's a kind of motivation among them? How can they go about creating a conducive environment for them?
Thank you very much. I think the first thing that such a community will need is that they need what we call cohesion. They need cohesion. They need to come together, understand that a broom will sweep more when they are together than they will sweep better when they are together than using just a single one. So once they understand that, and they will be able, no matter how, even in a broom, you will still find one that is not ready to cooperate. Sometimes that's why when you hold a broom, sometimes you see some will fall off, some would not. Some might be like this. So you don't have to, because of such, get distracted. So once they are able to come together, then they'll be able to identify what are their immediate needs. Some needs are immediate, some are in the future.
Yes.
So when you they now set their priority, you don't rush after future needs ahead of your immediate needs. Now, you was talking about roads. There is something I've observed in our area, especially this side here. You see some people who just build and they don't care about drainage. You understand? They don't care. They want to use all their land.
No setback.
No setback, yes.
They finish everything. At the end of the day, you now discover that the road will now become so tiny, and then when the rain falls, you go and look at the water on the road, and they are expecting the government to come and teach them how to do that. Mr. Governor, of course, is not staying there. The local government chairman has another place he's staying. So you are the one that will be suffering from such. And in the future, there is a possibility that the government will come and pull down your fence.
Yes.
So
not only the fence,
even the buildings. So what we say is prevention is better than cure. So at community levels, we need to embrace cooperation and eschew greed and selfishness, because that is one of those things that affect us. So, and when we are coming together, we should understand that our collective decision supersedes any individual decision. Yes, we can't take laws into our hand. Of course, that is why we have places to go to. We have, we have what do we call it, CDA. Then from there we have CDC. From CDC you have Zona. Whatever happens, we go through those channels. It is when we now discover that somebody is trying to be higher than the law. Then the leaders of this community will now approach it the legal way. Of course, if you have a community that has security challenges, one person should not just come and say, because I have a fence, electric wire, I don't want to contribute to security matters. No, you can't do that. These are issues, contentious issues that we have had to deal with.
That's a common front.
Yes, everybody, somebody will just come and say, I'm not. And I gave an advice, I gave a lecture somewhere, and somebody asked this question that, is it right for them to publish a list of people who are not paying for security? And I say, yeah, wisdom is profitable to direct. If it can bring litigation, you publishing the name of people who are not paying litigation, paying for security, of course it will not bring any litigation if you publish the name of those who are paying. So indirectly, when the name of Mr. Kofola is not there, everybody knows he has not paid and you have not published his name. So you just so everybody say, wow, fantastic, that they never thought of that. So henceforth, keep posting the names of those who are paid. So everyone know that, so Babalagaya has not paid. So security, community matters requires patience. You have to somebody who can, take a lot of, absorb insult, and at the end of the day, but you must also be decisive. When you are supposed to act, because sometimes when you are too lenient, when you are trying to, some people will want to test your resolve, and at the end of the day, if care is not taken, you won't be able to lead. So bank on the general decision of everyone, and make sure that everybody is carried along. Don't, even if somebody is forming a rebel, is being rebellious, still carry that person along to a very reasonable extent, and then from there we'll pick it there.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Prince Adekunle, he mentioned one particular area that I feel that we need to talk much on, and that has to do with mapping, giving new phase to our environment and all that. I have found out that your group, which supervises community development associations, you are also in the zone, you are in the areas, as you have Egba-Parapo and all that. What is your responsibility in ensuring that every community conforms or complies with either town planning standard, either building plans standard, and all other things? Because we have seen communities having roads in haphazard manner. At times only a motorcycle can pass through that route, and it's supposed to be a road or a street. So what is your role in making sure that for the future every standard is maintained?
You see, initially when we started, I mentioned that people of different shades, character, tribe coming together. And don't forget that individually they bought their land. The real problem that may be faced, especially when it is not, if it is government land, no problem. The layout, whatever, everything, perfect. But when we are talking of a local land, hey, the Omonilex, they might have made a layout, but when they don't get any land to sell again, they now come to now start cutting corners to make another land available.
So what do you
that is where
what do you advise
there is always problem.
The inhabitants in such a community to do?
The inhabitants in that community, because this somebody had there's an experience that somebody had in one area, that at the time he wanted to buy the land, they told him, they showed him a sparse of land that's about one plot anyway. But another man bought another land in the front. They told him the road, that road he will pass to reach to that house. And they now sold they have sold the road again. So, but the only thing we can do is to try to mediate. We cannot do the work of the government for the government.
Okay, though we'll still take that up later. Okay. But your last bite, your advice for community residents.
Well, I will just say that let me just put it to the leaders and the residents. For community leaders, we need to ensure that we understand the feelings of our community members. We need to, digest and get to know how to meet their needs. And for community members, we should always ensure that we cooperate with our community leaders, and then also understand that they also have other responsibilities. So coming out to, attend to us is an extra effort that they are giving. So we should always appreciate them so that our community can grow.
Your last bite, sir.
Well, like my partner has said, I just want to appeal to our powerful people in the community to cooperate with us in seeing that we get through to get our communities developed evenly.
That's all we're going to have today on Your Image, your public relations program on TV. And the topic has been public relations and community development. Prince Adegoke Adekunle, I want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much.
I hope you are still going to be with me next week.
No problem.
Because we have not ended this chat.
Well, we are available.
Comrade,
Once it
thank
is.
you,
Thank you, sir.
You've been a thoroughbred professional. I appreciate the way you have enumerated all those things.
Thank you, sir.
But I'll have to detain you.
No problem.
Till next week.
You have me, sir.
You still have your
You have me.
Well, until next week, when we continue and conclude with this chat, I want to say thank you for staying there with us. I'm Akin Okudero, your anchor on your image. Bye. See you next week.
When the ideals of manhood differ across times and culture, it's of cross-cultural consensus that the traits of the leading man include strength, control, and stoicism. Awujale. Another link in the chain of the ancestors, or Gbagba II, the reverent heartbeat of Oluiwa Baba Monijebode. Oba Dr. Sikiru Kayode Adetono, CFR, JP, the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland. This is the story of the prince who grew into kingship with mythical stature, an enigma personified as the youngest Ijebu prince to ever don the crown of Obanta. The king divinely proposed as the longest reigning Awujale in recorded history. Ijebu Renaissance Group presents Awujale, the king, the legend, and the myth. A documentary of the life and times of Oba Dr. Sikiru Kayode Adetono, or Gbagba II, the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
Stay connected. Stay with us, starting from Yanga and Jolly.
Hello there, welcome to another exciting edition of Sports Pizza. My name is Edwin Onyebolis. I'm so excited to grace your screens once again. We have a lot in store for you, from football to boxing, where we have one man who has seen his name etched into the history books. Who's the man we'll be telling you on the show? And there's plenty of transfer conversations for you today. Not forgetting our Tipsters Corner, where we'll give you the very best of tips going into the weekend. The big leagues are gradually coming back into the full seasons, and we have so much to talk about on the show. Of course, I do this in company of my homeboy, Bankole Oladuni. Before I bring him on board, we'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll set the ball rolling. Welcome back, and of course I have Bankole Oladuni in the building. Banky, what's up? How you doing?
Edwin, it's good to be here. How are you?
I'm doing good.
You even look good. I like you know, you looking posh and dripping.
All right, where do we start? Let's start with transfer. We're still in the period of transfer. Plenty of movements going across, but one that caught our attention is Marcus Rashford from Manchester United to Barcelona on loan. Bankole, you get a feeling that this is the perfect solution for all parties. For Manchester United, they get an unwanted player off their books, especially with his mammoth wage bill. For the player, he gets his dream move. This is a player who has always stated his desire to play with Lamine Yamal and Barcelona. And of course, from Barcelona's perspective, it's a move that makes a lot of sense for them financially. They are not paying a transfer fee. They're only covering his 14 million euros a year salary.
So I agree, but I think it is still, over the course of the season, it could also still turn out to be a bad move for United. If he goes to Barcelona and he does not light it on fire, like we saw at Aston Villa, he comes back to United with his value decreasing, with a lot of clubs, actually knowing that he is not good enough anymore. So I think it's still a risky move. For Barcelona, they're the winners of this. They're the biggest winners of this whole transaction. You still have Lamine Yamal, you have Rafinha, you have Dani Olmo, you have players who could cover up if Rashford goes on to become not the success that a lot of people are expecting him to be. But like on paper right now, I think it's a win-win situation for everybody. This is another opportunity for Rashford, to remind a lot of people as to why he was regarded one of the best players in the world back in 2016, 2017. And a lot has been said about how he doesn't deserve the move to Barcelona. And I've always felt like most of these ex-players, the Teddy Sheringams of this world, I think they believe you always have to suffer, to get to. I don't think so. I mean, the game has changed significantly. Did Jack Grealish deserve a 100 million move to Manchester City?
No, he didn't.
There are a lot of players who don't deserve. Robert Amorim is not even deserving of a job right now, if we fact check it, and yet he has the right to come out and say, Marcus Rashford is rubbish. So I think when you come out and you say certain things, you have to also put it in context. So I think he has gone to Barcelona. Has he been poor in the last couple of years? Yeah. Absolutely, but is there a talented player there? Has President shown that this is a talented player? Absolutely. So in going to Barcelona, I wish him the best. I hope he gets to light it on fire. I hope he gets to become a success.
Sorry. Do you think this is last chance at a big club?
Absolutely. I think this is last chance. I think this is last chance at an elite club. If he doesn't work out at Barcelona, then we'll start to see him fall into the realm of Joao Felix, where you start looking at the semi-elite clubs, the Benficas of this world, the Newcastles of this world, the Aston Villas of this world. That's where he will fall into. Because if he doesn't make it at Barcelona, which means he has failed at Manchester United, he has not exactly light up fire at Aston Villa, and also at Barcelona. A Barcelona team where all the attackers are like feasting. All the attackers are scoring goals. Yeah. So you going there and you failing shows that the problem is actually you. Especially with what your reputation, the hit your reputation has taken in the last couple of years. You're not hardworking, you're a bad trainer, and yet you're still not, putting results on the field of play. I don't think a lot of big teams would look at that, would want to risk the amounts of the wages he's collecting. So I think the only team that would accommodate, Rashford would be the smaller teams, if he goes on to fail at Barcelona.
All right, from Barcelona's perspective, if you're a Barcelona